Hey people, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that, and welcome of course back to Chelsea News, the daily series. That's right, every single ruddy day here on Football Therapy where I see what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion, more importantly, asking for yours. Of course, the world is a uncertain and turbulent place at the moment, but we continue, we do what we do, and we reflect on the beautiful game, and indeed Chelsea Football Club, and they are uncertain times. What's going to happen? Who's going to own Chelsea? Who's going to stay? As in, staff and players. Who's going to go? What are we going to do? Are we going to be okay? Are we going to win things? Are we going to score goals? Is Tuchel going to stay forever? What's going to happen? Well, find out here. On Football Therapy. You want answers? Maybe I can give them to you. Find out by subscribing and clicking the bell notifications icon to make sure you don't miss an upload. And if you want to give me that sweet, sweet love, you can like the video. Today we're referencing an article from Goal.com's Nizar Kinsella. Good guy, Nizar. Met him a while ago. Good chap, good journalist. And he is writing about potential owners in this instance for Chelsea, maybe a Saudi consortium. Before we reference the article, look man, I know a lot of people are like memeing online, social media and getting excited. I am not overly enamored, excited by the idea of a Saudi consortium buying Chelsea. Perhaps I don't want Chelsea to be a state-backed club that, you know, comes from a place with no human rights, that's got a lot of problematic elements bringing that into football. Yes, Roman Abramovich is a Russian oligarch, but he still just represents one person, and one person that has done a lot of good for Chelsea on and off the pitch. And yes, he was the first to do sort of financial doping in the Premier League, but you know, financial fair play didn't exist, and when it came in, Chelsea abided to it. I don't know, man, like looking at PSG, Newcastle, Man City, there is so much unsavoury elements, and I guess one of the potential positives from just going away from Roman, though he's been so good for Chelsea and for Chelsea fans, and indeed, you know, in the community and charities, he's done wonderful stuff, that, you know, there would have been, oh, maybe this is a chance for Chelsea to just get a clean PR slate. Saudi Consortium doesn't off the bat make me feel like, oh, here it comes. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Chelsea fans want a lot of money. They want owners to spend, and the way owners spend the most freely is through the lens of sports washing, which essentially is in itself a negative thing. Let's read about the owners. I won't waffle on too long at the beginning of this video, and let's see what's being said, and we can see if we can navigate this together, friends. So this is by Nizar Kinsella. Saudi consortium enter race to buy Chelsea. £3 billion valued Chelsea from Roman Abramovich. The Russian billionaire has been pushed into selling the Blues through the geopolitical events. That's with bidding emerging every day. With bidding merging every day. I guess bidding on Chelsea, that's what he means. A Saudi private consortium led by Saudi media registered. I guess that's their name. Oh, by Saudi media is their name. Registered their interest yesterday to buy Chelsea from Roman Abramovich through Rain Group, a New York merchant bank that has been hired to find a buyer. True, so that's like the third party sort of body that they're using to, like, you know, like, make this happen, boys. Chelsea's for sale. You know, we're a hot club right now, world champions, European champions. Make this happen. You know, you'll make loads of money yourself, I'm sure. That's how these things usually work. So they've been hard to find a buyer. Sources with knowledge of the situation described at least 10 serious buyers, with many others holding an interest. Now, when we say serious buyers, we're assuming they're people that actually could buy Chelsea, where the people, you know, others holding an interest is probably Conor McGregor. Yeah. The sheer number of interested parties, which includes Todd Boehly and Hans-Jörg Wyss, which we've talked about, the US-Swiss consortium, and the Turkish businessman Muhsin Bayrak, which I think is the guy, I might be wrong here, but is he the guy who says we're gonna, you know, fly the Turkish flag in London, and then just no one knows who he is, and no one knows if he's actually got any money? We are through the looking glass of memes here, ladies and gentlemen. It gives Abramovich some hope of claiming his highly ambitious £3 billion valuation. He actually, at one point, was thinking Chelsea's worth $4 billion. I think he bought Chelsea for $150 million. And he's turned down bids of $2.2 billion before. Like, I guess opening bids. And really, a lot of people are thinking now that's the kind of money he would be lucky to get now, or at least he should be accepting now, and maybe the $3 billion's a little bit fanciful. We will see. Let's read on. So, who are the Saudi media, or who are Saudi media, should I say, and their backers? Well, let's find out. Although it's not known who the individual backers are at this stage, great. Saudi, good, promising, and, fuck's sake, man. Yeah, we don't know who these guys in the background who are, you know, financially backing Saudi media. It's a great start. It's a good foundation to build on. Saudi media are a fund that will be heavily involved in funding media, advertising, and sports brands across the world. Okay, at least, you know, involved with sports brands, I suppose. Sports media, hopefully. Relevant to a degree. However, their main content offering is for the pan-Arab broadcasting market. The company has offices in both Dubai, UAE, and Saudi Arabia itself. One barrier to their success in claiming Chelsea might be the caution around accepting bids from a political sensitive party. Yeah, and, you know, here lies the problem. The big money makers and the guys that are going to throw money at the club and buy loads of players and just try and win and make the, you know, make them look really good. That is sports washing, and that's what they'll be trying to do. And, you know, a lot of kids who play FIFA, and, you know, I don't expect everyone to look into the politics of football. They'll be like, yeah, these guys are going to buy loads of players, and that's all we care about. That's all we want at our football club. But ultimately, we've got to have a bit of a moral compass. Now, I'm not condemning every single, you know, Saudi potentiality here, but we need to be lucid and look at who the people step forward. We need to have a look at them. But also, it's important to note that the owners and directors test is supposed to be getting this new element of where they address potential Premier League buyers and they say, look, there was something, I don't know if it's a criminal something, I can't remember what it is, but the idea is that there should be some like newish developments with how the Premier League look at potential buyers, and they need to make it more, you know, squeaky clean. And think about, like, you know, the greater good for English football and the English economy and stuff and whatever, and just like whatever, everything really. So what is the timescale for Abramovich's decision? The aim is for the Russian oligarch to accept a bid by the 15th of March, day before my birthday, for all you wondering when to get me a present. But the billionaire is open to extending it should he decide to help with the process. There is actually speculation that that date, the 15th, is to do with a deadline relating to sanctions or potential sanctions to Roman. Well, that's in like 7 days, bro. That's a week. In a week's time. Is Chelsea going to have a new owner within a week? Things move quickly in football, especially quickly with Chelsea, often in the background. So maybe it could happen. The proceeds of the sale, we are told, will go to the victims of the ongoing war in Ukraine. The careful wording of Abramovich's statement on Wednesday last week leaves open the concerns that funds could go to both sides of the war, which was sparked by Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Also, within the statement, it was revealed that Abramovich would write off £1.5 billion that he's owed to Chelsea in the form of loan through his holding company, Fordstam Limited, which is the company that essentially owns Chelsea. And yeah, 1.5 billion P's he's put in. This means that the 1.5 billion won't be banked by Abramovich after the sale. That's one thing for sure. We know two things, in fact. He loves Chelsea. He doesn't want to stitch Chelsea up, so he's writing off a ridiculous debt. Another thing is, I don't think he wants conflict or war, and he wants to, you know, send for aid over there. Certainly Ukraine. People are speculating maybe Russia as well. You know, maybe he will be sending for both. But maybe not. Maybe it'll just be Ukraine. We don't know. Anyway, this is not what today's video is about, so let's read on. How are Chelsea supporters coping with the news? That is the question, Naz. How are we coping? How are you coping? All over the gaff. I feel like there's so much change in the world at the moment, and that's just come into football. Football's part of the world, even if it's not the most important part, certainly at the moment. It just feels like change has been coming. Even since 2018, when people speculated Roman would sell then, you know. The Blues' travelling support were criticised by their manager. Well, we've spoken about the chance at Burnley, the poor-timed Roman Abramovich chance. Those misguided actions show the pain among hardcore supporters among losing their owner. Very true. You absolutely have the right to thank and sing Roman Abramovich's name, and I think we probably will for a long time. Just pick your ready moments, do you know what I mean? The new owner is highly unlikely to offer the same level of investment in the Blues, which will likely be on a more stable footing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. However, it's also an opportunity to start a new, more transparent era at the club, and Chelsea Supporters Trust, the most influential sports supporters group, has issued a list of requests to any new owners. Basically, a lot of a recurring theme here is that Chelsea find a way of sustainability in terms of just functionality. The truth is, you won't get an owner like Roman Abramovich in every sense. Chelsea won't get an owner that's going to put just loads of money in to try and see them win. Chelsea are going to get owners probably that will look to say, right, how are we going to develop this and make it more sustainable? And they'll be thinking, we won't get sanctioned, we won't get denied visas, hopefully. We will operate in London, we will operate around Chelsea, and we want to build a new stadium. And we want to stop firing managers every 5 minutes. And people will be like, well, but that's our model. We're Chelsea, we fire managers and we win trophies and our rivals cry. But if you find some continuity, maybe go through longer growing pains, you don't have such a high wage bill. Chelsea, I mean, think of the amount of money Chelsea have lost paying off managers in the last 20 years. Like tens and tens of millions. Crazy amount. So you suddenly, eradicate that. You suddenly eradicate needless high transfer fees for, your Bakayokos, your Danny Drinkwaters, your Alvaro Moratas, and the list, you pull your own out, do you know what I mean? There's so many, and then they're high wages, and then you're having to loan them out, and not, even getting still having to pay for some of their wages, even when they're loaned out. You'd think new owners would come in and go, right, we're not going to throw money about, but we're also going to be sensible, and we're going to do this. We might not be winning the odd, cup here and there for the next 5 years, maybe. Even Chelsea might not win a title for 5 or 6 years, but they'll win stuff in between, including a Champions League and stuff. Right, we're not going to do that, but we're going to have to maybe go down a Liverpool route. And Liverpool's squad, in terms of who they've got fitting the system and not overpaying on wages, that's probably what Chelsea should look at trying to reach. I'm speculating this is what new owners would want. Certainly this is what I think new owners should be thinking about. Do you know what I mean? Stadium, wage bill, unnecessary signings, continuity in terms of football philosophy, easy for me to say, bring in a football director, keep a manager, hopefully Thomas Tuchel, keep him knocking about, and then we move from there. We'll have to see what happens though. I put it out to you though, my friends. What do you think? Let me know. Comment down below. Start up the conversation, and I thank all of you who like the video and engage with the content and share it as well. That's very kind and sweet of you. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm keeping an eye on the news all the time, so make sure the bell is turned on when you subscribe, and you will be the first to react to the information with me, friends. Thank you for joining me. See you very soon. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.